Hey everybody, Tyree here with Before I Forget, along with my main man from a different land. Kevin. Say hey, Kevin.
Yeah, that's me.
Word. So here we are, going through puberty. Apparently,
Yeah, welcome to that.
you heard that?
Yeah,
That's
that was.
embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
If only we could redo that.
No,
But
we're not gonna though, because
yeah,
we're raw.
yep. This is 1,000% never edited at
Word.
all, ever.
I need to point out something that's very important to me right now before we get into anything. It's the fact that I'm wearing this hat.
You
And
are wearing a hat.
yeah, my fucking football team is awesome, and this hat that I got for Christmas is awesome. It's gold,
It is
and
gold.
I need y'all to see that and dig it. And that's all I got. Thank you. I'll take it off at some point because it's probably gonna get hot and sweaty, and I don't want to fuck up my new hat. But
So the SF means sucks frog dicks.
San
Oh.
Francisco is what it stands for. Fucking Kevin, Jesus Christ.
I like to. I don't have a professional team, right? That I give a fuck about. So like, whenever somebody's like a diehard fan of some team, I like to talk all the shits that I can.
Don't don't do that. Don't be that guy.
Especially when they're like when it's like a controversial team like the Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody's like a fan of the Eagles, like, oh, okay, I mean that's cool, they're good. But like if somebody's a fan of the Cowboys, you're like, why?
yeah. That's the first shit I say when I hear someone's a Cowboy fan. Like, you have other options.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I mean, thinking about it, that's probably the only team where it's like, why? Like Raiders fans before they moved to Vegas.
Oh no, they're in the same group. Raiders fans make well, no, they're like old school. They've been
for,
fans for forever
yeah,
with their
yeah,
tailgate.
yeah.
So I give them that.
Same with the Browns, same with the Dolphins. Like if you're a diehard Dolphins fan, like like good on you for sticking through it,
Through all of it.
through everything.
Every fucking bit of it.
The last 30 years of what the fuck is going on in this field with those brightly colored uniforms.
They were looking good this season, but they played us and we whooped their ass.
And by us, you mean
I mean, they played
the
the
Browns?
49ers, the football team, the 49ers, because the
Yeah,
Browns, as in the Tyree Brown family, was not on the field.
yeah, you weren't playing.
No, 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 no. I'm too fragile. But the San Francisco 49ers, who get paid the money to not be fragile, they defeated the other
Yeah,
opponent.
right.
They were triumphant.
That makes sense. That makes more sense.
Word.
um,
So, what's up?
I am tired of California hogging all the all the teams.
I mean,
They
it's
have like 47 professional football teams out there.
yeah, we need them. California is enormous.
It's not enormous. Alaska is more enormous. It's enormouser, as they would
Yeah,
say, and
and
it
how
doesn't
many
have a
fucking
single,
teams? Yeah, because
not a
no,
single one.
who gives a shit about a? Well, no,
Man, you're about to alienate all two people from Alaska that listen.
no, 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 no. That's a terrible thing to say. Like, there's not enough population in Alaska for there to be a sports team.
There's like 600,000 people there,
Yeah, but minimum.
scattered out in the fucking frozen tundra.
Yeah, but your smallest team fan base is going to have more than that in any California city over the Alaska, Juneau or otherwise.
Juneau.
Yeah.
Did you know that Juneau is a city in Alaska? People listening,
Now you do.
now you do. That reminds me of that guy on TikTok.
Uh,
So listen,
yes, those are good videos.
yeah. Speaking of good things and Las Vegas earlier, that fucking song. Um, every time I hear anything from that album, I think of driving in a Chrysler 300 across Southern California into Las Vegas
Word.
with you. I wasn't really driving. I rode. I guess I wasn't allowed to drive.
I mean, you could have, but I was hogging.
Yeah, you were.
Hadn't driven much in a minute.
Well, plus it was a nicer 300.
I mean, now thinking about it, it was really a piece of shit. But
Right. Yeah, it was a brick. It was
yeah,
very slow.
but I loved it. It was fucking awesome. I was so fucking pumped. You know, that album is the last album I've ever record CD I've ever bought at a fucking record store.
How do you even remember that?
I remember really dumb shit. My memory is fucking wild as fuck. We also bought a sticker magnet for the car that says "I don't support anything," that we left on the car when we returned it.
I don't support anything.
Yes, it was a gray, because at the time everyone had these fucking yellow stickers on their car,
Yeah.
the magnets, you know.
Yeah.
And we were being edgy, I guess.
Right.
Bunch of dumb.
I do remember having one on my car that was like, I I support single mothers as strippers or something to that effect.
Yeah,
Um, or maybe it was just I support strippers, but it was stolen off of my car.
yeah.
But
Someone else needed it more than you.
yeah, I was being edgy and having that on my car, and someone out edged me by stealing it from my car.
They didn't feel like paying for one. They just said, "Hey, there's
Yeah.
one right here.
Why pay for one when it's literally right there for free?
Like, just take this one, and this guy won't miss it
Yeah.
because he could just steal someone else's." And the saga continues.
Mm,
Is it saga or cycle? Cycle continues. Fuck marijuana.
that's the problem.
Word. So something that is very cool that is coming up about our show is something that I personally didn't see coming, at least anytime soon. And that is our 100th episode. How fucking awesome is that?
So is that? I meant to ask you earlier. Is that including every show that's been put out on this channel, or like before I forget specific shows?
I'm counting everything except the shows with me and Chris Walker.
So even the the Better Together
Yes,
series,
they
yeah,
count because they are produced by us according to the uh, headliner picture graphics.
is the one with Walker not?
Produced by us.
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
mean
no, that's
you,
just the thing. Well,
us. I
we
don't
didn't
do
really
any
talk much
producing.
about that. No, we didn't really talk much about that. But that's just the thing. It's just separate from this. That's actually one of the first times we're talking about the show on this show. So, oh man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You ever watch Rick and Morty?
yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
can be. I'm very Rick sometimes.
Very rickish.
Well, with my intelligence and drinking,
All right. And
mostly the
the hair too, man. It's fucking coming, boy.
I just got a haircut today. Actually, I say got. I cut my own hair.
I think it looks fucking good like this, man. Don't grow that shit back.
I
Like,
don't intend. I don't intend to.
thank you, dude. Like a lot of people who fucking, we're so far off the 100th episode subject, but like so many people still try to grow that shit out. And I know I'm probably alienating more of our fans.
Yeah, no. So for real, man. Like I struggled with the hair loss for fucking years, man. Like I denied it. I was a denier, right? Like even though like the bald spot in the back of my head looked like a straight up fucking yarmulke. Um, fucking the receding part, the thinning on the front, like I was just all against it. And then Jessica was always trying to get me to shave my head, and I was just like, no, I look stupid because I thought my head came to a fucking point. You know what I mean? Like a house.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel it. It feels like it comes to a point. But then like my haircuts, dude. So like being in the army, I get my haircut every month before drill.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep it generally short anyway when I had it longer, but I was paying $28 for somebody to like shorten the sides all the way around. $28. My clippers were $40.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I bought those clippers one time. I've been shaving my head since then. So like the amount of money that I've saved just from doing that alone. And then like I noticed so like my confidence. Like I remember one time I went to the gym before I started shaving my head and
Hmm.
I didn't have a hat. I drove half an hour to the gym. Didn't have a hat in my car. So I was like, not
Nope.
going.
Nope.
Didn't go to the gym. Now it's like I don't really give a fuck, man. This is whatever.
Hmm.
Um, like I used to do jujitsu um through this lineage called grapple fight team. It's all like competitive jujitsu, which I didn't really have an interest in. But anyways, you know, obviously when you're rolling, when you're doing that, like you're sterilized. You're not wearing your watch, bracelets, necklaces, hats, obviously. You're just wearing your gi.
Yeah.
And I always felt so uncomfortable taking my fucking hat off because I knew, you know, I had my fucking bald spot yarmulke and my fucking receding shit and all that stuff. And then,
Hmm.
well, last night my little brother was in town for the holidays, and you know he trained in aikido and all that stuff growing up, and he's like a second degree black belt in aikido.
Oh, all right.
and
Right on.
and last night he invited me to go to a jiu-jitsu class down where we're from, and it was Gracie jiu-jitsu, which I've been really wanting to get into. I really like their philosophy.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you're familiar with Gracie jiu-jitsu. It's named after the
Yeah.
Gracie family. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like it's their shit. I went to that, and I just remember, you know, sitting there like in my fucking gi, like I'm the biggest fucking person in the class, and just, you know, going through the techniques and all that stuff. And like it never once occurred to me like my bald head, you know what I mean? Like all
Hmm.
my, you know, just I don't know, it was a thing. So like, so I say all that to say, like, if you are me a year ago, you have your bald spot and your receding shit, it's thinning and it looks stupid, just shave your head. Just fucking shave it. Stop spending money on like fucking hair growth shit because most of it doesn't fucking work or it's not long term. Don't even look at Bosley. It's just going to cost you a lot of money. Just shave your fucking head.
Hmm.
Get over it.
I've been shaving for a minute, dude. And my hair shit's my line's starting to go back like a fucking Cadillac with four flats. It's starting to go.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of gray, like a lot of gray. And I dig it. I love the gray. But gray patches on my shit, that's gonna look weird. So I'm just gonna keep shaving it off. I'm gonna grow a bitchin' beard at some point
Yeah.
and leave it at that.
But yeah,
Go bald, grow a beard. God damn it.
that's my plan, man. Like you see this, like this is it's not blonde, it's actually gray hairs in my beard.
Oh, let me zoom in here. Let me
It
see the
is
shits. Let me see them shits.
yeah.
Yeah, no. Looks sharp. Looks sharp. Looks distinguished.
Yeah.
Looks
Well, I
real
mean, well, this time next year, you know, I'll be retired from the army.
yeah.
And the last time that I have to shave for drill is the last time I'm shaving my face
Ever.
ever.
Right on. You
That's
should.
it.
That's how it should be. Like and then that's it. No more ever again. I didn't shave for a minute, but then I realized it was pointless.
What?
Not
Shaving?
I couldn't fucking grow hair to shave my ass. But to save my ass.
Just shave your ass.
Shave my ass. Yeah. I go it's crazy how that came out. But
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just gotta let it grow, man. Just let it grow. Like
yeah.
the song in Frozen. Let it
Mhm.
grow, let it grow.
Yeah.
I think that's how it goes, right?
Word.
But yeah, so 100 episodes. So that I mean, I don't know that when we first started doing this that we had a plan. I mean, we had a plan initially with like the initial like 26 episodes or whatever.
Mhm.
But I don't really think that like when we first started that we were like, well, what do we do after that? You know what I mean? Like we talked about it a lot and then, you know, we came up with the plan later on, but like I don't think that like it ever occurred to us that like we would be approaching 100 episodes
No.
like, over a year later.
Just over a year later. Not that long over a year. And that's fucking cool, dude.
Well, the 100th episode will be in what would we say like February timeframe, maybe March.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably March.
and what was it? October or November was 1 year. So yeah, I mean like 14, 15 months. After, I mean, it's pretty good, putting out a lot of content.
Tons. Apparently 99% more than the rest of the planet.
Yeah, there are some shows. There was one that I was listening to a while back that was like, we put out shows every 2 weeks. I'm like, every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
What do you do in the other week? Like, what are you doing with your free time?
Jerk it.
Probably, maybe researching. So they put out quality content. Meanwhile, we're just like, here's an episode. Fuck it.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Here's me breathing on the fucking recording. So you have something on for Monday.
Yeah, right. I often wonder, like, whenever we record and we do just me and you shows, I wonder if people are ever like, well, why aren't they interviewing somebody this time around? And sometimes it's because, you know, scheduling conflicts with people that we do have in line to record with. Sometimes it's we just don't have anybody to record with because, we're not that big of a show, right? We're decent, but like the post you made the other day, the bigger our show can be, the bigger our guests can be, and the more guests we can have lined up.
Mhm.
And then sometimes it's just like we have things that we want to talk about. But in this case, it's more holiday based. So like the last two episodes, trying to record around Christmas time, you know, recording with Woods, I had pneumonia. Like I actually went to the fucking hospital. Doctor was like, "Yeah, you got pneumonia. How are you walking?"
See that shit, y'all. He did a show with pneumonia for you. For you.
Sacrifice.
Goddamn.
Um, and then and then recording with Javier,
Yeah.
Avonica, like literally on Christmas Eve. Like I was late going to my family Christmas thing to record that show. But that's when he could do it. So, that's when we did it. So,
Yeah.
um, but
That
yeah,
is one thing that does suck about scheduling is when we finally figure out a time, it's basically off of our guest schedule. Like
mhm,
whatever time they have open. So like, oh, I have Tuesday at fucking 12 o'clock in the evening. Like, all right,
yeah,
fuck, we got to do it then. Like, we had to do. It is what it is. We got to go and get it done.
yeah.
Make it
I was
happen.
I was really worried about that with Nora's show.
Oh yeah.
Because with her being on some other planet, somewhere else on this planet,
Mhm.
I was like, fuck, man, we're gonna have to like record middle of the night or balls early in the morning. But she was all about like doing it first thing when she woke up.
Yeah.
So it really helped us out a lot. But
I
anyway,
appreciate the folks that do come on because it's not fucking easy sometimes. Like I'm sure
talking
that
about stuff.
yeah. Oh man. Oof. Who wants to sit here and talk about, the worst shit that probably happened in life on recording and camera and shit?
Yeah. Looks like Tyree is talking to the empty room. You got ghosts?
No, I have my little granddaughter, believe it or not, knocking on the door because it's game night. But here we are.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
Granddaughter.
I kind of wish we would have thought about it beforehand, before the holiday season really started, but um the holiday season tends to be a hard season for a lot of people. I know in my unit and at my work, they would send out like mass messages or during safety meetings talk about like how the holidays are hard times for people. And so check on your soldiers, check on your people, check on your family, check on your friends, blah blah blah, and make sure that they're all doing great. And which is good. That kind of shows that leaders in some places actually care and are making sure that we're taking care of other people
Right.
or taking care of our people. But it would have been one thing that Tyree and we do talk about the future of the show, like the plans, and we try and plan things, but sometimes we don't have like the best foresight when it comes to like, topics that we should talk about. And
Yeah.
I think that's something that we probably should have mentioned early on. But it is still the holiday season. New Year's is coming. Actually, I guess this show will air right after New Year's, right? On the 2nd. Is that when it
Yeah.
airs?
Right
Yeah.
after.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, you.
When you watch this or
Word.
listen to it. Yeah, on the 2nd. But with all that being said, there was this is why I bring it all up. There was a thing that was recently reported on, I guess you could say, on U.S. Army what the fuck moments.
Mm-hmm.
And one, this story's like super fucked up. And at first I was like, the kid kind of maybe like not deserved, but like he not deserved the end result, but like the shit that was coming to him, right? And then you like read into the rest of the story, you're like, God damn, like that is fucked up, man. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But basically, I'll just read you what the article says. Last week we had a soldier from Fort Hood commit suicide in his barracks room. This is shortly after the soldier was released from inpatient care for attempted suicide. Unfortunately, the soldier received a field grade Article 15 for overdosing on drugs with his previous suicide attempt. So, pause right there. Soldier was obviously going through it and overdosed on drugs, I guess seemingly intentionally to kill himself. And instead of his unit or his command team reaching out and saying, "Hey man, like what's going on? How can we help? Let's get you into ASAP and the Army Substance Abuse Program and get you to mental health and get you the help that you need." No, instead they're going to slap an Article 15 on them. And for those that are listening that don't know what that is, that's punitive action. That's you're in trouble, right? So Article 15, so he would have reduction in rank, loss of pay, and then extra duty, right?
Yeah. It sucks.
And when you get extra duty, it's always like 14 and 14 or 30 and 30 or 45 and 45. So you get like 14 days of extra duty and then 14 days of a probationary period. When you do that extra duty, it's you show up to work. Let's say it's Monday. You show up to work, you work the duty day. And so let's say the duty day ends at 1700 or 5 p.m. Shortly after that, you report to extra duty and you work until 2300 that night. So 11 p.m. And then you go to bed and then you start that process over again. And then come Saturday and Sunday or a day where there is no training throughout the work week, you report to extra duty that morning, like 8:45 or 7:45, whatever time it is. And then you're doing extra duty all the way to 11 o'clock that night. And then you're released. So that's it. So for 2 weeks. And so extra duty typically means you're outside, you're cleaning something somewhere, you're mowing lawns, you're picking up trash, you're area beautification, picking up cigarette butts,
Painting rocks.
painting rocks, turning rocks over, literally whatever bullshit detail whoever's in charge of the extra duty can come up with.
Yeah.
Right. So that's it. So this soldier going through some stuff, overdoses on drugs to commit suicide, fails at that attempt, thankfully, and his chain of command slaps him with an Article 15 and gives him extra duty, takes away his rank, takes away his pay. And this is leading up to the holiday block leave. So reading on to what it says, the soldier receives extra duty. So which then prompts the battalion commander to revoke already approved leave to the soldier. So this soldier already had leave put in to go home to be with family, people that love him, care about him, all that support, right? Paid for it, right? And he's already a junior enlisted soldier, so like he's not making a ton of money. He's already paid for his trip home, and because he got an Article 15, they canceled his leave. This kid is suicidal, desperately needs mental health, um, desperately needs a chain of command that actually give a fuck. And instead of helping this kid out, they cancel his leave and make him do his extra duty then. When you read on into the article, it even talks about how he was the only soldier who was placed on extra duty whose leave was canceled. The other soldiers were able to defer their extra duty to after their leave. So they were allowed to go home and then come back, and then they would pick up their extra duty. This guy had to cancel his shit. Yeah, it says note that the soldier.
I'm sure there's more, but I'm sure we're going to get to it. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's a note that the soldier already spent money on tickets and other transportation to fly home to family. That means a struggling soldier just had the opportunity to be surrounded by a support network taken away. However, the Army does allow for a soldier to defer extra duty for leave or other requirements, and the battalion commander allowed other soldiers to defer. The soldier was recently notified of illness of two family members. This is another thing just layered on. This is compounded shit, right? The soldier was recently notified of illness of two family members and was trying to get home to help mitigate the stressors. So on top of whatever he's got going on in his head, now he's got like family members at home with illnesses. He's trying to get home to see them, And if these are potentially life-threatening illnesses, that leave could have been like the last time he would have seen them potentially. But that's taken away because the battalion commander said, no, fuck that guy.
Flip it around, man. They saw him for the last time, period.
Right. Right.
At some point, they had no clue, That's fucking lousy. And I'm going to ask the question that everyone else is listening is going to ask is what was the hangup about this one fucking soldier? What the hell did they have a hard on for him? Just kind of fucking pointed bullshit going on here. Like, let this motherfucker go and leave. Like,
yeah,
it's because I'm sure it was like, oh, he probably fucked up my suicide stats, or it probably all came down to some number that pissed off somebody and like make him pay or some shit.
Yeah.
Some slick sleeve who haven't done shit in their fucking career is gonna make this fucking guy who's already going through hell, take away the shit that would help him. That fucking sucks, dude. Like I've had the 14 and 14. It was in basic training, so it was like the baby style, but like, dude, it shit still sucks, man. Who wants to fucking stay up until 11 o'clock doing dumb shit, waking up earlier than everybody else to do more dumb shit? Not even early, my bad. Like around the same time as everybody else, but you're off to do dumb shit. Like when it's all said and done, who wants to do that?
Right.
You miss out on training, or you miss out on just fucking downtime, because downtime is everything when you're a soldier. To lose that, like, who gives a fuck about the money? Like, you're gonna make the money back. You get the rank back, I'm sure, if you're not that pissed off about it. But the fucking time you lose to me is the worst.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of the. I don't know. I take issue with it because you got to think like, okay, depending on what the reason is, right? The person is going through something, right? They're going, in his case, he was definitely going through something. So when you look at it, and you don't have to step too far out of the picture to even like really look at it, but like when you look at it, like, does it really take a lot to see that this is probably not the best course of action? Like the soldier is struggling mentally. He's got things going on back home that's compounding his stress levels. So, best course of action, Article 15, extra duty, take away his leave, make him sit there in the fucking barracks alone, which is where he died. December 23rd, OD'd in his barracks room by himself. Is that of Fort Hood? What is it? 2 Cav, first ABCT. So it's pretty shitty, man. I actually went to their Instagram page, the unit's Instagram page, and you look through the posts that they have, and they have a lot of posts talking about family and what it means to be what I think they're called the Black Stallions or something stallions,
Mm,
and all this stuff. And then you read through some of the comments, and man, they're getting lit up in the last like 24 or 48 hours from people coming on there and just like demanding answers, which, rightfully so.
sure. Yeah.
Well, now it's to the point where comments on this post have been limited.
Mm,
So I don't know. It's wild to think that like this shit is actually happening. I mean, this happens all the time. I mean, we can talk about like the oh my god, I can't believe I can't remember her name, but the female MP that was recently found.
Ian.
Um, no, well, the one after her.
Oh shit. That's all at hood still, isn't it?
Now she was in Wiesbaden, Germany.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say, man,
Um,
man, what the fuck?
yeah, but like the one, yeah. So she was assaulted, and went to her unit. And they didn't do anything, and then a couple of days later, she was found having committed suicide in her barracks room. Even though her family and people that know her were like, no, she's not a suicidal person at all.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's a thing. It's a big fucking issue that nobody is seeming to really do much about. And it kind of makes you wonder, man. Like I feel like lately I've been on like a rant with like how the army is like going about taking care of its soldiers. And don't be wrong, there are leaders out there who are doing like great fucking things for their soldiers.
Hmm.
But more often we hear these kind of stories about how, you know, yeah, how they're getting fucked. And then soldiers like this can't handle it and they die. It's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And it's unnecessary. But so you ask the question, right? So like, what is it about this particular soldier? And so maybe he was a bad lot. Maybe he was a troublemaker within the unit, right? Maybe the unit was looking at separation for this kid. He'd only been in the unit or in the army for about a year, I believe. Um, so maybe that's what was going on. Maybe they just didn't like the kid. They had it out for him because he was, your typical shitbag, right?
Hmm.
But he's still a life. He's still a soldier that is under the care of his NCOs and his command teams, right? Company command teams and or squadron commander, right? And sergeant major. Like it is still their job to provide excellent leadership to even the worst soldiers, right? If you have a soldier who is a typical shitbag, who's always trying to get over, is lazy, doesn't give a fuck, doesn't want to be there, but they have some type of problem, like a legitimate problem, it's still your job as a leader to step the fuck up and help that soldier out because at the end of the day, they're still a soldier in your care. Like that's the whole point. When you make it to an NCO rank and you have soldiers below you, or you're an officer of any rank, that's your fucking job. That's
Hmm.
it. That's your job. Take care of your fucking people. If you can't fucking do it, then you don't need to be there. You need to seek life elsewhere. That's it. Like give up your fucking rank and get the fuck out of the army. And I don't know, stop pretending to give a fuck.
Okay. So flip side, you're a new soldier. You're going through some shit, and your chain of command doesn't do shit. I say you hold the motherfuckers accountable, man. Like, hey, you the people that I'm supposed to go to for help. You know, a lot of you guys are in the military right now. You don't have families, so you don't have no one to go and talk to. You're not exactly straight with the people in your unit for XYZ reasons, so you can't talk to them. You should be able to talk to whoever you have in your chain of command to help you. And when that shit doesn't happen, we've spoken to people who like explain like they've ruined their entire career and they're feeling for the military and they're feeling for life in some cases, clearly. Like it doesn't take a fucking thing to give a fuck.
Yeah.
even the smallest amount of, all right, let's just have common sense here. Like, we have to give him the Article 15 because that's how the army is. That's what the paperwork says we have to do. But let him go home so he can be with his fucking family.
Yeah.
You know? Why take that away? Now you look like a fucking dickhead. Kevin, you can't say this shit because you're still a part of them. But I can. Like, you look like a fucking dickhead because you could have helped out that guy, but you didn't. Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shitty.
Well, and so for people in that situation, right? If you are um incorrectly handled by your chain of command, so you're seeking help for something and they just blow you off. I mean, there are things that you can do, right? So like a lot of commanders will have open door policies where you can go speak to them directly without having to like, go through formal, formal the through formal means, right? But regardless, if it comes down to, you know, in let's say in this particular soldier's case, or the female in Germany, I wish I remember her name. I'll have to look it up in a second. But like, she went to her chain of command seeking help, and they pretty much told her, you know, ah, you know what I mean, blew it off.
Mhm.
Had she gone to the people above that, or the people above that, or if she had, contacted her congressman or congresswoman, or reached out to literally anybody, I bet you they would not have cared if she didn't go about it formally, right? Because at that point you're talking about a soldier's life,
Yeah.
right? And when you join the military, regardless of the branch, there's this like expectation that you are going to be treated outside of basic training, well, even in basic training, with dignity and respect, right? That you're going to be treated as if you're a person whose life matters. And so when you find yourself in a situation where that's not happening, go to anybody with rank on their chest. Doesn't matter if you're fucking chain of command or not. Honestly, like, let's say I was a first sergeant or a sergeant major, and some random soldier came up to me in the fucking PX one day and was like, "Sergeant Major, I know you are not in my chain of command. You don't even know me, but I have an issue in my unit, and I don't trust anybody in my chain of command. And I've heard your name before, or you look like an honorable person, or whatever the fuck reason you have to go to this person." And let them know. If somebody did that to me, yeah, absolutely. Like, I will go out of my way
Yeah.
to
Because
because even if it's
that's
not,
pretty extreme. Like, hey man, like, to pull me off to the side like that, like in your particular case, that's fucking serious. Like, of
yeah,
course. What can I do to help you?
yeah, right. Um, being a drill sergeant, like I've had former trainees of mine reach out to me, years later. These guys, E4s, E5s even, and you know, asking me for help on something, advice. What should I do in this particular case? And on the one hand, it's like, man, like, it's really great that you think of me that way, right? Like, that's cool that you trust me to come to me with this, and ask for help. But on the other hand, how shitty is it that these soldiers, in between me being their drill and them at this point, sometimes 2, 3, 4 years later, how shitty is it that they haven't met another leader along that path who they can trust just
Mhm.
as much as their former drill sergeant? That's crazy to me. That tells me that, like, we have at least in the army, a fucked up culture in leadership. It's fucked up. It's a huge problem. But I'm just glad that they are reaching out to someone that they know that they can trust. And that's what you should do. If you find yourself in this kind of situation and your chain of command shuts you down, reach out to literally anybody that you can trust. Reach out to whoever the fuck. Call your congressman. Go to IG. It doesn't fucking matter. The last resort should be taking your own life. No, I say last resort. That's not a resort at all. That's not an option. It should not be an option. But if that's where your mindset is, trust me when I say that there are so many more steps in between where you currently are and that final solution. So I don't know. It's a whole thing, man. Like, in the NCO creed, there's even a line that talks about like my 2 basic responsibilities. And one of those is the welfare of my soldiers. It's in the fucking NCO creed. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't say like, if the soldiers are better than average, or if the soldiers are stellar soldiers, or not, just as soldiers, the welfare of my soldiers. Period. All of them.
The good ones, not just the bad or whoever you're cool with. All of them, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's pretty fucking shitty, man.
Could you imagine what military retention would be if the leaders were fucking awesome and they took care of their soldiers, and when it was time to get out, soldiers like, hell no, I love this shit. I really do fucking love this shit. I'm gonna stick around and I'm gonna teach future soldiers about, how great this time was, and I'm gonna teach you about how, it shaped me, and I'm gonna shape you in the same way. Or whatever, keep that good NCO around, but you guys are fucking flying, looking for a way to get them out of the door, keep them not coming back for an encore,
Yeah.
and with that money that you waste going into these fucking guys because they split, like, think about it, man. Like, put more fucking effort into the morale of your fucking troops, so shit like this doesn't continue to happen at a more frequent rate like it is now.
Yeah.
Like it, and I'm fucking hollering at everybody about it from top to bottom. Like, fucking do better. Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm using the and all that, but damn, y'all.
Well, let me ask you this, man. With
Yeah.
Anthony, if he expressed to you when you got 18, when you turned 18, if you wanted to join the military, the army, how would you feel?
Go for it, dude. Who am I to stop you at this point in your life doing things? But I would warn the fuck out of them. Like, hey, this is how it was back when I was in, like, 30 years ago at that point,
Yeah.
when I started. But like, from my conversations that I've had with folks, like, this is how it is. Maybe you should listen to some of our shows, Anthony. You can learn some of the shit. But
Yeah.
like, I would never stop him, and I don't think anyone should ever stop somebody from doing something, especially if they feel in their heart that they need to do it. But lay out the truth to them too.
Yeah.
But more power to you. I'd never be like, no, don't do it. No, do it. If you love it, I love it. Or how is it? No, if you like it, I love it. That's how it goes.
Yeah. I've thought about it, man. And um, I don't think I would if I had a kid.
You wouldn't let him join?
I mean, I don't obviously don't have a choice, right? But like if they said, "Hey, I'm thinking about joining the military," like I think I would attempt to discourage it.
Hmm. I would not have guessed that. I mean, maybe after listening to our show or a year, we don't have like complete disdain for the military. It's just, man, we know how it is, and who wants to put their loved ones in that kind of risk?
Yeah.
And your children, if you have children, you know, should be, or I'm not going to say should be because I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but my kid is the shit. I love him. Like, he's 100% the thing in my life that's more important than anything, even my wife and all that. But like, I wouldn't feel happy that he was there, but you know, that's what he wants.
Yeah. So my thoughts are, her name is Denisha Montgomery, by the way. She was found unresponsive in Lucius Clay Barracks in Wiesbaden on August 9th and was pronounced dead at the scene. My thing is, there are too many of these stories that come up. Too many stories of leadership failing soldiers across the army. And even this last cycle that I had, I had a heart to heart with them. There was some shit going on internally within the platoon that needed to be squashed, and they were kind of at each other's throats and sick and tired of each other and this and that. And, we had which is normal, right? Like, just shit happens. We had I had a trainee or a couple trainees, I guess, selling food from MREs and making a profit off of his buddies or whatever. And God dang, these fucking beers that keep foaming at me. But there's a whole thing. There's a whole fucking thing. But like, and so me being me, like how I am, like I turn it into a big theatrical thing. Like, not screaming and yelling, but like I make it dramatic, right? Like, I make sure to I want to drive the point home. And so in doing so, like I make it a big dramatic thing. And I compared it to, all the people in like, say, Vanessa Guillen, all the people that were aware of her situation and did nothing, or all the soldiers and sailors and Marines and airmen and women, and I guess space cadets, who were getting sexually harassed or assaulted, and other people knew about it and did nothing. People who see these things and don't say anything because it's above my pay grade, or it's not my responsibility, or I thought somebody else did it. So one thing that I always tell my trainees is, like, if you see something, like, fucking bring it to us, even if you're like, not even sure, right? If it's an actual thing, fuck it, man. Like, when in doubt, whip it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I made it a big ordeal, but like, in talking to them, man, like, I had this realization in the back of my mind. I'm like, because I think about, like, some of these kids, like, some of them were definitely young enough to have been my children, right? Like, I was definitely old enough to be their father in some cases. And I just kept thinking, like, man, I could not imagine, like, my kid being in that situation, and there's nothing that I can do about it. I mean, hopefully, like, the upbringing, right? Like, you raise a strong, independent person who can handle themselves and is mentally tough and resilient, even in the face of adversity, or under the leadership of somebody who doesn't give a fuck. They can still manage to carry their own weight and make themselves push through to the other end. But I mean, all you can do is try in that regard, I guess. But I just was thinking about it. I was like, man, I couldn't imagine, my kid being here and going through these situations. I don't even have a kid. I don't know. It's a whole thing, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love the army. I do. Like, I know it sounds like I hate on them a lot. But I'm not. I'm just hating on these dumbass fucking leaders that are pretending to do their fucking job, wearing a rank that they don't deserve. But you know, it would be hard for me. Like, I would be worried the entire time they were in.
Yeah,
That's the thing for me. I don't know, man.
I get that fully. Like, and I know it feels like I'm just summarizing what the fuck you just said, but um, yeah, the fact that you can't help them when they're going through something. I know if my son was to call me while he was in training and he's like, somebody did something weird to me, dude, and I don't know where to go. I'd fucking hit somebody up. I don't know. Like, I'd hit up my congressman. Like, I do what I got to do to help out. Like,
Yeah.
on the flip, man, like, if you're in the middle of that stuff, like, you gotta say something. Like, I know it's like a pride thing. Like, you don't think it's a tough macho thing to do. You join the military not to be a snitch. Maybe you think it's a snitching kind of a thing. It is not, dude. You're getting rid of the bullshit that needs to be getting rid of in the military. Like, if you're dealing with somebody who's sexually harassing you as a female, like tell on that motherfucker, get him the fuck out of there so he doesn't do that shit to somebody else in the future. Um, hopefully it'll stop the feeling that the last resort now is, or the final result is the fucking, I got to take my life because there's no other way.
Yeah.
Nothing else I can do. There's nothing. I mean, there's something. There's always something. I mean, every time, look, I'm not gonna lie and act like I've never been like had suicidal thoughts. Because who hasn't? Not really who hasn't, but
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I always think like, man, if I had, like, what would I have missed?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would have missed so much shit, and all of it's like really fucking awesome shit.
Yeah.
But you got to reach out and talk to somebody. I go to therapy. You know, you gotta, talk to my wife about stuff. I talk to Anthony about things sometimes, not about the deep shit because he's too young for it. But
Yeah.
you got to make sure you got to check in with your people, make sure that they're good.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, and especially and that's kind of what brought the whole thing up was like, especially around holidays or significant events. December 27th is the anniversary of Messer's death.
Yeah.
And, log into Facebook and you see all these people posting pictures of him, his widow posting pictures of him, his kid who barely knew him, Skylie, she was posting pictures of him. And that's great, right? Because one, like we're keeping this guy's memory alive, right? And I say this guy like he's just some person that we, like some random dude, like we knew him, like he was a homie of ours. He's one of my memorial bracelets, and but at the same time, it also like it, if somebody's feeling down about that, like you have all these different people that are like feeling the same way, and they're people that you can reach out to.
Yeah.
So like when it comes to holidays, when it comes to anniversaries of someone's death or their birthdays or an event that happened, um, like those are the times you really need to be looking out for people. Like obviously, like look out for them all the time, but like during those days, those harder days, you know what I mean? Like reach out to those fucking people. And I know I know it sounds like the last like 20 minutes has been like, or however long, been like super negative and depressing and all of that stuff. But like, it's a necessary vibe that, because there's no jolly way to talk about this particular subject, right? There's no happy way to talk about like mental health. And I mean, I guess there is, but like, there's no happy way to talk about like, look out for your fucking people because this shit is like actually serious. Like people will actually end up taking their life because they don't feel there's anyone they can go to. They feel isolated and alone. And it's our jobs as friends and comrades and leaders to make sure that that doesn't happen. And like I said, it's not all leaders in the army that are bad or in the military in general, but like I recently found out about the 173rd Airborne out of Italy, their brigade commander, Colonel Mike Klepper.
Mm-hmm.
That dude, I follow him on Instagram too, and I am so jealous of the soldiers under his command. Like so fucking jealous of the soldiers under his, because he's constantly posting about like what his soldiers, he calls sky soldiers, he's constantly posting about like their accomplishments that they're achieving, you know. Um, and when I say accomplishments, I mean like, hey, this fucking soldier last Saturday went out to a 5K out in Vincenza, Italy, and represented the Sky Soldiers at the one, and did this thing, or they're out hiking in the Italian Alps or whatever it is. I think they have Alps there. I don't remember, but like he's constantly talking about like that's all his social media is for, is like bragging about his soldiers, not himself, bragging about what his soldiers are doing and like how proud he is of the shit that they're doing, and like he encourages them to have a life outside of the army. It's like, hey, he had a post actually coming up on the holidays where he's talking about like some of the soldiers are not going home for the holidays. Like, so if you happen to be here, um, get out, go see things, go explore, go see Italy, go do this, go do that. Like, take time off and go experience Europe life. And like he's a huge advocate for that stuff. And that's the kind of leader who people want to work for. That's the kind of leader that people will like, fuck yeah, man. I want to serve under this guy. I want to fight under this guy. Like I want to give this person my best because I feel like they deserve that. You
Not
know?
just want to be here. I want to excel here. I want to prove
Yeah.
that I belong to be here.
Yeah. Like I've actually considered hitting him up on his Instagram and asking him if he would come on the show.
Yeah.
Um,
You know, we're on the course of or track of talking about people who do good things. There is, and this is the reason why I'm sitting here looking at my phone, folks. Amy Rebecca is a big, enormous fan of the show.
hmm.
You know, from day one, apparently, that's huge to me. But I went and did a little digging, and she works uh along with Care, and Care is a group of folks who get care packages out to folks in the middle of whatever kind of deployments or whatever they're on. And that's huge, that can fucking curve someone's fucking thoughts about checking out,
Yeah.
if they get something as small as a care package with some fucking gummy bears in it. Like, fuck, dude.
Man, in Iraq, when we get those random care packages of like fucking too many Slim Jims or
Oh,
like random books that like nobody was gonna read, but you know what I'm saying? Like they're definitely not titles that anyone's reading, but like we're looking at them and like we're laughing about them because the cover or the book title or whatever,
mhm.
or just random like CDs. Just
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Like yeah, like that. I mean, even if it was shit that like we're definitely probably not gonna use, like stuff that probably should have gone to the dumpster. Like we're still like,
We're gonna laugh about it. Well, at least we're
yeah,
gonna get that from it.
and we're thankful for it.
Yeah.
Those fucking Slim Jims, man, they kept me going.
One time in one of those care packages, I got a Zippo. This isn't the Zippo, but I've been carrying the Zippo um, for a while now. Look at that. Cool, slick, all black, right? Uh, Shit like that is cool to me because it helps remind me of, the cool times, especially when I was in Germany, because I had one that was very similar to this that I always carried. You probably don't remember it, but it was a black Zippo. I
Mhm.
got a bunch of other Zippos here. That's my shit now. But it all started from fucking care package.
Yeah,
Got it in a box from somebody, and I'm like, all right, cool. And then I went on from there. And I think it was like a care package from fucking Kosovo. It wasn't even from Iraq. It was from some
yeah,
bullshit. And that's when I really started with that. But I think you can even see the pictures of me light my cigarettes with Zippos back in the day. Because it was
man.
cool. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
fucking throw together a care package, help somebody out.
yeah. Actually, so like shortly after we recorded with Nora, I sent her one, and
Oh, okay.
yeah. She, I asked her like, is there anything that you need or want while you're, off the planet? And she, very simple requests. Well, cause so full story. She lived in Arkansas for a little bit, and then she's been posting these pictures on her social media, and she's wearing like Texas Longhorn stuff and or Texas Longhorn colors, and I'm not about that life. And I was like, that's some bullshit, man. Like you're from fucking Arkansas. Like I don't care where you were born. You're from Arkansas. You need more Arkansas shit. She said the day she got on the plane, her brother like shoved a bunch of like Texas Longhorn shit into her arms. He said, here you go.
Mm.
And so like that's unacceptable. I'm gonna send you some Arkansas stuff. And it's like anything else you want. And so she was like, she likes sour things. So I sent her some fucking like sour sour patch kids, I think. And like she's like M&Ms. So I bought her like the family size bag of M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
The
Them
big
motherfuckers
fucking one.
aren't cheap either.
No.
Yeah.
um and then the she wanted the instant coffee from like Starbucks, the little packets of coffee, whatever. So I sent her a bunch of those and some other shit too. And
That's
then
dope, man. That's cool as shit.
I mean, and like she's kind of built for these kind of roles, these kind of jobs. Like she has that mentality. Like she's from that country, or she's from that, not that country, but like that part of the planet. She's, so she's not, unfamiliar with this type of lifestyle, whatever. But like, um, but it's still like, like, hey, it's cool. Somebody back home gives a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever think about that Zippo, the one that you got in the care package, like that person, where they are today, and like if they've ever sat there and wondered, like, wonder where that Zippo ended up. You know what I mean? And like what it would eventually come to mean to you. You know
I
what I
think it's
mean?
been around the world, buddy. Whoever packed up a black
Yeah.
Zippo and sent it to Kosovo back in 2002, that Zippo has been around the planet. And thank you, because it was something that helped me keep my shit together. Even though if it's just something I kept in my pocket and clicked,
Yeah.
helped show me out sometimes. It's all good. I
I
know
have
a
a
lot
zip.
of you guys probably have Zippos in your pocket too. You might do the same thing,
Yeah. Well, so back then I remember like the Zippo being like super popular. Like I remember, so I used to smoke, right? And like I I hated using butane lighters over Zippos.
Yeah.
Something about the lighter fluid. And then like I had like special Zippos. When we were in Iraq, I ordered that Jackson guitar, and with it came a black Zippo lighter that had Jenna Jameson on it,
Mm-hmm.
holding a Jackson guitar. I still have that Zippo. It's in my Jeep. It's been in every vehicle. Like I don't use it, I don't have a reason to now, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's been in every vehicle I've owned since I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I keep it. I just keep it in there. No, I don't know why that's a thing for me, but like that's where it is. Probably because I know like I won't lose it if it's in there. If I put it somewhere in my room, it's just fucking
It's
lost.
yeah.
Who knows where it is? But yeah, no, that is cool that she's a part of that. And what's crazy is like that's not her job, is it?
No, no, that's not her job, but she feels like, it's something I'm gonna say, one more time that she needs to do. And it doesn't take much to, like I said, give a fuck. I'm sure hopefully, I need to put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to give a fuck.
It does not take much to give a fuck. SARS, SARS is sizes small through extra, extremely large. I got you covered. The shirt. It doesn't take much to not give a fuck. Extra small, I got you. Extra, extra, extra large, I got you. And everything in between. Take it, give it to your kids so they can wear
Maybe,
it to school and be like, hey, you read the shirt. It doesn't take much to give it.
maybe that could be the slogan we've been looking for.
That's fucking it, man. It's tits on glass.
It's Stitch on Glass, man. Yeah.
And it doesn't take much.
I mean, but you're right though. It really doesn't take much to give a fuck. It doesn't. Like all you have to do is just recognize that the person that you're dealing with is also a human, and that they also have a need, just like you do. Like, and it doesn't take much to give a fuck. Like you may not be the one that helps them, but you definitely don't have to be the one that fucking hurts them, makes it worse.
I'm like,
Everyone's going through something. Everyone's going through a struggle. Like,
mhm.
you know,
you
I
know,
know.
I'm trying to adopt this new philosophy
Mm,
besides the not giving a fuck kind of a thing or giving a fuck. It's more of a if you like it, I love it. If you like it for you, I love it for you. I'm not gonna try to deter you from something unless it's something that's harmful or
mhm.
dangerous to somebody else. I'm not gonna try to deter you from what you love doing because sometimes that's all you got. You know, um, so there. That's my philosophy. If you like it, I love it for you. So that way, if you feel like you can come to me. I'm never going to hit you with the negativity about something unless it needs to be negative, and I need to save your life on some quotation type shit.
Like
But
being a Cowboys fan.
yeah, like, hey man, if you like being a Cowboys fan, I love that you are a Cowboy fan. Just don't look at me or touch me or nothing like that. But
Yeah, but like, do you have to be a Cowboys fan like in front of me?
I mean, even if you have to,
There's children here.
don't look in my general direction when you're wearing it. And I will do the similar thing and avoid you, will not maintain eye contact, and still will remain more than 50 yards distance.
50 yard, yeah. Um,
But if you like it, I love it. So go ahead, man. Neither here nor there.
I was thinking maybe that would be one of those situations where you would like step in, like, well, listen, I know what I said, like if you like it, I love it, but like,
No, man. Have at it. You like it? I love it's cool. You like some weird shit? Go hard with your weird shit that you like. If it makes you happy and it doesn't harm anybody and it fucking sparks some creative juice in your head, whatever the fuck, man, go for it. I love it for you. Do it. Fuck it. You never know. Like your fucking passion or hobby could turn into something huge. And I'm gonna take credit for it right now because if you listen to this show and you heard it and you're like, man, I'm gonna fucking shoot for the stars, and I'm gonna talk to Tyree about it. He's gonna be like, I love it for you, and then he's gonna pump me up, and I'm like, fuck yeah. And then they go on to be billionaire or some shit. I ain't gonna ask for no money. I just want you to be like, hey, you
give me some
felt,
credit.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I want. My fucking props.
I've learned that I'm a pretty good hype man.
Okay.
Um, I've got some friends here and there, who like one of my friends, Jesslyn, great singer, amazing voice. I'm hoping that we can have her on the show in March when we do the women's history,
Okay.
or the
Fucking
women.
spoiler alert. Jesus.
Oh, we have we not talked about that before? I thought we did.
Not out loud.
No,
Not on the show.
not out
We
loud.
plan
Not
stuff
out
out.
loud.
Yeah, we plan stuff out, y'all. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't
Yeah.
even know. We sit
Yeah.
we sit around and we're like, hey man, how can we represent the ladies?
Yeah, that's what we do. Oh my god. I can't believe that came out of your mouth.
Make it happen. But seriously,
Are you crying?
yeah, I got tears.
You're crying.
Like we sit around and we think about the
Yeah.
shit that we put on the show like in advance. Like, hey man, like the people who listen to the show take their time out to listen to the show, and there's some hardcore people who listen to the show. You know,
No, I
yeah.
don't.
Thank you. You don't know this, but according to a website that we keep track of thoroughly, the only reason why the people that are on that list is because they have over 1,000 subscribers cumulatively, blah blah blah, altogether on all platforms. So, believe it or not, Kevin, as we near our 100 show, we've had well over 1,000 subscribers for quite some time now. It's very difficult, listeners, for us to figure out how many subscribers we have for this whole thing. And every analytic system gives us a different number of some sort, but it always gives us different numbers with subscribers. But this one particular site knows how to get all those numbers together and figure it out and spat out that we have an estimated number of 1,000 plus subscribers. So thank you, even though maybe like 100 of you guys actually listen, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. I appreciate it. Kevin, I'm sure he does also.
Absolutely not. No, so you talking about the top 40 veteran podcast that
Yes,
yeah.
the stipulations to be on there 1,000 followers.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Gang.
I would like to see, no, I definitely appreciate all the people that do subscribe and do listen and then do share and then do like the content. The the views that we've had on YouTube, they actually kind of mirror our listens from our first season. So they're not large numbers, but they are definitely more than I thought they would be, which is really great. So we're definitely appreciative of that. When you watch those, click the thumbs up, please, and thank you.
Oh yeah.
And I subscribe to the channel, because the larger that channel can be, the larger the show can be. Because it's one thing to gain a lot of listeners on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but to grow the show and the content on YouTube could potentially have a larger impact on the show in the future.
Yeah.
So for those of you listening or watching, if you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. And with that being said,
Click the thumbs up button right
oh, you
there.
know, yeah, they just
Right down there.
right,
The thumbs up button right over here.
right here,
Yeah.
wherever the fuck it is in relation to where I am on the screen.
Click it.
Click it
Hey,
or tap it.
I was totally pleading for people to share stuff because, like you said, and here I am summarizing what you said again. Uh, for real though, like the only way you can grow something is to have the people who love it share it.
Yeah.
That way you can then describe it to your friend and you can be like, oh man, this fucking show I listen to is fucking awesome. These two dudes, they sit around and talk about nothing, but they're fucking two army guys and they talk about their fucking shit. One guy's always crying. It's fucking cool. You should listen. And then that person lets another person know, and then they give it a fucking thumbs up somewhere on here. And then
Yeah, right
they
here.
they listen to the show and they fucking subscribe and then they share it with people and it grows and grows. And that's the only way you can grow something, because there's these companies that will say, hey, give us $1,000. We'll get you tons of fucking listeners. Or I just talk to listeners and say, hey, if you like it, share it. Let other people know about it. It's this little fucking podcast, you know. It's not a big deal. Like if you can see the video, look at me. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Little fucking podcast we got.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the website, the fucking Facebook page. All right, that's cool. Whatever, blah blah blah. Cool shit. That's where we can post information to folks. But that fucking the show is the fucking crown jewel of the shit.
Yes.
Word. So you guys, those of you who actually share it and you know listen and all that kind of shit, and got us to 100 episodes, because I promise if it was like, and we were doing this shit and it was like 10 listens after 5 months on one show, I probably would have been like, let's hang this shit up. But fuck man,
Yeah.
we're big-ish.
Well, I know in the past we've said that, like, we would continue to do this, even if we had few listens or a handful of listeners or whatever. But like at a certain point, you have to be realistic about, like, like, am I spinning my wheels? Is it a waste of time? Is it really benefiting anyone for us to do this? And so you kind of have to have that, like, that realization at some point. And so that's kind of where we come to that conclusion that, like, yeah, if it wasn't growing, then what's the point?
Let
With
it
that
die.
with that being said, think about it like this. When I got my new Jeep, man, I wanted to show it off. When I got my new watch, man, I wanted to tell everybody about my new watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I get something new, when I find something that new that I like to show it off. I like to make people be like, oh man, I heard this fucking badass fucking new band.
Mm-hmm.
Really into them. Fucking great songs, blah, blah, blah. You should check them out. The podcast, it's not any different. Just tell people about us.
Yeah.
Just brag about us. Tell them lie to people and tell them we're great.
I brag about you guys. I really do. Like anytime I get any kind of feedback, which is rare, like holy shit. Netta Beta, who always fucking,
Netta.
thumbs up on everything. Everything. Thank you. Like I brag about that shit. Like, hey, somebody listens to us and our bullshit.
She's a
It's
homie of
fucking
mine.
cool. She's a homie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Known her
I
for
don't
a
even see. I don't even know who that is. And that's one of your homies. That's cool.
yeah.
Who? What is she? What is her? I almost said. What is her deal? Cool. And hopefully you're listening.
Yeah, she listens. She likes all of her posts, and she's a very supportive person of the military and law enforcement and stuff like that. Has a great kid. Um, she oh man, some time ago she sent me a Snapchat of what was it? Her daughter is in swim, and they were at a swim meet for the school, and I for some reason either the PA system couldn't work and they weren't allowed to do the national anthem before the swim meet, or they just weren't allowed to do it for whatever reason. But like she and her team, I hope I'm not misremembering this. She and her team took it upon themselves to sing the national anthem before the swim meet, just loud and proud. That's fucking cool, man.
Sweet.
It is
Thank
pretty
you
rad.
so much for listening. Did I say her name right?
Netta.
Netta. Yeah, thank
Yeah, it's short. It's not her actual name.
for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't put her government out on the internet.
Here's her social, by the way, her
Yeah,
address,
yeah,
blood
I
type,
saw that. Mother's maiden name
shoe size.
perfectly printed on this business card. So that's so stupid.
Are we gonna make business cards?
Oh man, we should. We oughta. We will.
We can make business cards and give those away.
Sure. We can give away. We could do whatever we want.
We should do a giveaway.
Yeah. We got to figure out what we're going to give away first. We got to
Yeah.
close this show out because we're looking at quite a bit of time.
Yeah. Well, we didn't talk about the giveaway.
Yeah.
So, like Tyree said earlier, like we plan things, right? We think ahead. I said earlier, we sometimes we don't have the best foresight, and sometimes we're big planners, like way ahead. And so we are planning a giveaway of some type coming up for the 100th episode, and so like the winner of the contest, whatever the fuck giveaway would be announced what the 101st episode or something like that. I don't know how we haven't worked out the details of it yet, but we're still trying to figure out what it is, how we're going to go about doing it, and what it is that we will be giving away. But it will likely involve what did you say, a signed an autographed photo of Jake Gyllenhaal, but not autographed by him.
Yeah.
It'd be autographed by us.
By us.
Yeah.
Bam.
No, no, that we're not that ridiculous. But we
just
do want to no, it'll definitely involve like, listening to the show and maybe, extracting information from the show to present to us later on. And then subscribing to the YouTube channel and verifying that you've done that. And so and I think all the details will be announced on a future Facebook post that will probably pin. Can you do that on Facebook? Can you pin posts?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
It'll be something to that effect. But we are planning that. So those of you who are diehard listeners and now watchers, keep your ears peeled and your eyes open.
Yeah. It won't be anything simple like what's Tyree's favorite football team because clearly we already know that.
Cowboys.
Oh fucking.
He them boys.
If you love it, I like it. I'm gonna giggle, but whatever.
I was drinking a beer. I almost spit that shit out.
But yeah, man. Like I think that's gonna be cool. Like pay attention to whatever happens in future shows because it could possibly win you a signed Autographed picture of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. No, like so, like in all realness, we're talking about like actual things. We've talked about like trying to like get sponsorships through like smaller companies, like veteran owned companies, and then maybe something from them, creating our own stuff, and then being able to use that as stuff that we can give away, um or just giving you a wad of cash. Whatever I have in that jar of coins over there, you can have that.
Whatever I just happen to be looking at on my desk.
Whatever thing I grab in any random direction in proximity to me.
It's a red Zippo, partially painted black. That oh, look at that, it works.
A red Zippo partially painted black.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but you can win it. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh man.
I have 6 AAA batteries
And you do herself.
and a charging cable that I don't actually need.
Yeah.
No, it'll be something cool. It'll be something good.
We promise. You'll want to participate because it would be cool. And
By our standards.
yeah, I think by anybody's standards, a little bit of participation would be cool, right?
I mean, participating would be cool. Yeah, I don't know what you said. I give up.
For sure. What I'm saying is we're going to close this show out.
Yeah.
So, hey, everybody. It's Tyree here with Before I Forget. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank
Especially
you.
this show.
Yeah, this show in particular. Thank you so much for getting us that much closer to our 100th 100th episode. And yeah, man, keep on rocking. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep helping people. Listen to your people, your subordinates. They might need your help. Be a leader. Don't be a fucking dickhead. Um,
It doesn't take much to give a fuck.
it does not take much to give a fuck. Trademark. Copyright.
Yeah.
Kevin, you got anything?
No, man. I mean, that's really it. Like, if you're a leader, be a leader. If you are not a leader, be a leader. And it really doesn't take much to give a fuck.
Ooh, if you're a leader, be a leader. If you're not a leader, be a leader. Yeah. That is some of the most gangster shit. I was about to close this show out. I'm so happy that we're not, because that's the most gangster quote I've ever heard in my life. And I'm so happy that you put that on the fucking listeners. Right? Yeah. All right. So let's close this out. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Love you. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Love you.